Six people working out of Shillong have built more foundational AI models for Northeast India's languages than most funded labs in the country. In 2025, MWire Labs launched. Now, within a year, NE-BERT, a multilingual model, the team says outperforms Google's own mBERT on regional languages. Kren-M, the first Khasi-English conversational model of its kind. And 1 to 3 days ago, Lemka, a complete speech system for 6 Northeast languages. Built on over 1,000 hours of field audio the team recorded themselves. Truly brilliant. Now, the lab now ranks 18th on AIKosh, India's national AI repository, by number of contributions, ahead of labs with vastly more funding. Badal Nyalang, the director of MWire Labs, is joining me today exclusively on Front Page to discuss this wonderful achievement and, of course, what lies ahead. Welcome to Front Page, Badal. How are you doing?
Thank you, Sudhi. Thank you for having me here today.
Truly a pleasure to have you with us, and honestly, a big congratulations. Just as I was going through that, I just felt the amount of hard work that's gone into this.
Truly, I think it's all the smaller bits how you connect, and then later on you see, okay, we have actually done something. We have something in our hands.
Nice.
That it's for us, it's more of an accomplishment. That's like, okay, we can actually listen to our own languages, the cultures, the voices. That's the interesting and fascinating part, actually.
Yeah. Fabulous. All right. On that wonderful note, celebratory note, I want to kind of get into the entire conversation now. As far as 6 people based in Shillong, I mentioned that, building foundational AI models for the languages of the Northeast India. Fair? Now, if you were to go ahead and walk us through this, Badal, who is MWire? What does MWire Labs actually build? And what kind of motivated you to go ahead and start off on this journey?
Okay, yeah. So I'll just proceed with a quick background on how we started and everything. So we have been working on the IT services sector for the past 5-4 years. So we have done a lot of IT development softwares, web applications, mostly for government and a lot for abroad also. So we kept on doing that, and then in 2024, actually at the end of 2024, with AI being the obvious next push for us to integrate AI in a lot of things, we tried that for with one of our local projects for Meghalaya.
Okay.
So Khasi, Garo, there was, okay, let's just say OpenAI's ChatGPT, the API will take. It does have okayish Khasi. But when a local person sees that, they'll say this is rubbish. It's not like, it's not Khasi.
No, and fair point.
So yes, so the coverage is there. We saw that, but it's not something that a local would resonate to. So that is where we said, okay, this is missing. We kept on digging in. We looked more. What can be done? What are the alternatives? We tried fine tuning smaller models and everything. So the biggest wall that we faced was the data set. There wasn't enough data sets for Khasi. And another one was Garo. So Meghalaya comprises of 3 tribes, basically Khasi, Garo, and Pnar. So Pnar is actually almost invisible, even today. So Garo and Khasi has been
unfortunate, but yeah, anyway.
Yeah, it is what it is. So Khasi and Garo, with it, Garo had almost none. So I think Vani recently launched Garo, and it has been going on. So
I actually had a conversation with them, Badal, by the way. So they were also doing some fabulous work as far as that is concerned. Shravani.
Yes, exactly. So that's a different story. I think we can come.
I will come to that
as well. Okay, interesting story.
Yeah.
Okay, so when the data set block came in, so we realized that, okay, we did connect with a lot of people here, and outside of Northeast. Okay, what can be done? We checked a lot of research and everything. we realized, okay, data is not coming to us. We are here in Shillong. It's not coming from the outside to us. So we are the one who have to, collect those. So that is where, this whole journey started off. We tried off with Khasi first, then we did Garo, and then we said, okay, let's check what other languages in the Northeast are there available. We checked, okay, Mizo has been okayish going, and then Meitei is scheduled language. Assamese again is a scheduled language. So those are like covered well. But when we talk about other languages, like for example, from Arunachal, Wancho languages, which is my wife's dialect actually. So that is rare, and again, Wani covered those. So again, there is Kokborok there, and then if you look at the languages, we have been digging in deep, and it's like 200 plus tribes. The languages, many are like 50,000, 1 lakh population only. So what happened to those? So that is when we said, okay, we will do this. No matter what happens, be it small, be it, definitely we can't go all out at one go. So be it small, we'll do it. So we started off with 6 languages. So I think like you mentioned Lemka, I think Lemka is one of our biggest, the actually deployed breakthrough. Rather than when you mention NE-BERT and then Kren, and then we do have another one called NEASR. We even have NE-LIT. Those are all research artifacts, and then those are all we open sourced all of them. And it's like you said, in AIKosh is there, and then even Hugging Face, it's available to open source. So for our propriety, at the end of the day, we are a business. We need to make money. So
for sure,
Lemka is where it comes in. So this is our voiced, model for 6 languages currently. We are exploring more languages, and our goal is at least in the next 1 year, we want to target 30 to 40 languages of the Northeast, then go in deeper, and then target more. That's a distant story, but at least by 2027, at least have 30 plus languages in our models, which speaks well, has the accents. It doesn't go here and there when we pronounce something, because Northeast being diverse, it's something that really you have to make sure that you don't hurt the sentiment at the same time. You don't speak, mispronounce things and everything, and then give them an AI model that that's made for them. So that's basically the insight.
No, it's wonderful, honestly, Badal. And again, well done. But before I get into the entire challenges of collecting the data, etc., and all of those factors, you've given us what was the motivation in terms of why did you want to start off as far as this entire initiative was concerned. But you yourself, personally, I want to ask you, MWire started in 2017, now delivering IT and digital systems, as you mentioned. Now, I wanted to understand from you, you spent 8 years on the ground, but it took you an X amount of time to go ahead and understand it and then kick this off as an initiative, which today it's come into wonderful light of day. What did those 8 years teach you on the ground, which probably, let's say, no AI lab, starting from a whiteboard could have learned? What are your learnings, personal, that you brought to the table?
So I think there's a MWire Lab itself started in 2025. So that was the whole AI
MWire I'm talking
model
about.
thing. Okay, that is the consulting bit that I've been doing. So that is more of the consulting, the initial IT sector. So it was, I think, for the Northeast, we have the tendency, for any IT services or IT projects, we bring in the big guys. I mean, you could say the big four. So those comes in, and then there's a lot of things happening when it's in the Northeast. So we do get bits here and there. We work on those, and that's how it's been going. Learning basic sector, it's something. I mean, we see a lot of states in the Northeast that's been doing, great with their push with the government policy and everything. But for us, it has been okay. We are a small team. We are doing small work here, making sure that the impact is there. So for us, it's more the learning bit. It's about doing it for our people, seeing it work. That that wow feature when, let's say, the CM, if you create a platform, the CM launches. For us, sitting at the back, or maybe some team working virtually. So that's the happy moment, grabbing a coffee and then okay, we did it. That's the thing that encourages us, and that's what makes us go ahead.
Wonderful. Okay. Now, of course, coming to the entire, collecting of the data, the challenges, etc. Like you mentioned, data wasn't coming from the outside. You guys are in Shillong, so you said, okay, why wait for anybody else? Let's go ahead and kick this off on our own. Which then brings me to some numbers and the languages that have been covered, just to give everyone the context of the sheer amount of laborious work that you would have had to have done. A complete speech-to-text and text-to-speech system for Khasi, Garo, Mizo, Mite, Nagamese and Kokborok. Built on over 1000 hours of field audio, the team recorded themselves, team meaning you and your entire team together. Please walk us through what it actually took to collect that audio, whose voices are in it, and what did that process look like on the ground? It sounds very nice now, but what was it like when you were doing it?
Okay, so the entire process was more about, okay, we need to do something at least for the language, like I mentioned earlier. So firstly, it was okay having I can't actually push all the team members. Okay, all of you guys go and do this, because
Correct.
we need our bread and butter also. That's
Sure.
that's a separate thing. So I
No,
had
sir, that is
two
not a
of my team
separate thing.
members.
That's the most important thing.
I
Correct.
mean, we're talking about the whole AI, right?
Right.
So we had I had two members working. Okay, I need you to filter out languages that's accessible currently, at least, so that we don't have to go to extreme rural places to take that. That is one. And then so we focused. We came down to 10 languages, I think. Then we further narrowed that down to 6. And then once we had that, what we did was we started hiring. So all of the voices that came in, those are paid collaborators. So
Okay.
again, like I said, so it's not something that we go out and then community, the community based, those are different. But our biggest point here is, I'm not sure about how a lot of people are doing, but for us it's all consented. We make sure that they give us the consent that okay, we are going to be collecting this for the language preservation and training AI. So we make sure that it's
Give me elaborate, for example, Badal.
hmm.
Like you said, it's consented, and these are people who are contracted to go ahead, lend their voice, understand, etc. in terms of the language. So, could it be, let's say, a local, I don't know, youth? Could it be
Mhm.
somebody who's a senior gentleman who is, let's say, the leader of a panchayat, for example? I'm just trying to understand what are the, different vistas that you're trying to incorporate.
Okay, so from our data set, we have a mix of 19 to 20-year people till 50. 50 is the max. So plus more than 50, we still need that data. That is something
Okay.
that's missing. So it's like, we like in the research, say we say that that's a limitation that or a future work that we'll be doing. So till 50, we have that data. So we firstly, reaching those 45 plus or 50 plus, it's a bit difficult for us to, that whole explaining thing. It's the only thing they it's okay. I'll be using your voice to train a computer. That's the max. We can say. So that whole part is a bit of a challenge for us. And then definitely till 50, it was okay. We have the data. We have the text
Right.
based data, which was first translated. Then we gave them to just go ahead and talk freely about any topic you
So there
like
was
in
no
language.
script. There was nothing on
No,
those
it's a
lines.
mix.
Acha,
It's a
it's a
mix
mix.
of
Okay.
script, we have text prompted and conversational as well. So and then we did that. We went on. I think a lot of the problem was when we had the text, they were like also acting as the first layer of reviewer for the text, because those were actually translated ones. So they were okay. If anything wrong, you flag it to us. So
Makes sense.
that is an additional task they did, but that's how the whole collection worked. It was not easy getting the people, and then we got a lot of referrals. But that
Were
was
they
another
paid
thing.
for
So
this?
yes, yes. So we make
Okay.
sure that one person is 30 minutes to 1 hour max per person. So we do not we don't want multiple one person covering a lot of hours. So we want diversity in that. So it was 30 minutes to 1 hour max per person. So we made sure. I think we have a paper on this coming. I mean, we submit to EMNLP. I think tomorrow is the acceptance notification if it gets accepted. So we did the average of the wages in the Northeast. I think
Wonderful.
per day is 500 600 on an average wage. So we make sure that we divide that and we pay them 400 per hour,
Okay.
not by the day. So our I think recently, even when Karya did a research on it, they were paying something similar, 350 to 400.
Fair.
So I'm not sure it's hourly or daily, but that is what they paid. So we
It would
made
be
we
basically
had a
whatever
benchmark.
are the norms, market norms,
Yes,
you
exactly.
followed those. Fair
Yes,
enough.
exactly. So we did that, and then we asked them to give us more referrals. So we got a lot of referrals about diversity. We don't want
Nice.
from one section, one particular section, or one particular district. Because, for example, if I'll give an example in Arunachal Pradesh. That's my wife. My wife is from. So it's like one village, the same tribe, same language. One village has a language. You go to another village, hardly 200 to 300 kilometers.
It'll
It's slightly
change.
different. It changes. I mean, they understand among them, but when from an outsider, when you listen,
You
it's
won't be
like
able to
okay,
get it.
exactly. So we needed to cover that diversity. That is something not easy. We can't lose
No, but it's
something and
very
say okay.
important. You're right. Yeah.
I mean, when we say we covered Khasi, we can't say we covered Khasi from ABC district.
Yeah, absolutely
It can't be
agreed.
like that.
True.
So I think that was one of the biggest challenge, because even if we follow referrals, one person will know, like let's say in a particular district. So we needed to hire more, bring in more
Sure.
people, talk to community heads. So those are a lot of conversations that happened, a lot of back and forths, and I'll to be honest, a lot of them rejected us also, saying
Why is
that we
that
don't
though?
want.
I mean, this is only going to help their own community. Why? I'm sure one of the, I don't know if you'd use this or not, but if you had made them listen to something like a chat GPT and said that, you know what, we want to better this in terms of what you're listening, did you think that maybe that would have had an impact? I don't know. I'm just brainstorming with you.
So from what I experienced, so let's say there's a group of 5 people for a small community organization, society or something. So there'll be 2, 3 who knows about AI, who knows about tech,
Right.
and there will be 2
Right.
elders. So the block, the brick wall that we faced was okay. We don't want our language to be misrepresented or misinterpreted. So that it was the biggest
Okay.
blocker. So, and we don't that exact word was we don't want it misused. That so there's a lot of thing to be done with the mentality thing. So, and this is
Yeah,
something we don't
building
want to
trust on these things,
get
Badal, take time. I agree.
exactly. So we will. I mean, we are working on it. It's our idea is it's like I told you, by 2027 at least have 30 languages working one. So that is our goal, and that is something we have been pushing on. We are trying more. We are pushing more. We are trying for more collaborations.
Sure.
So that is something that's been good.
Honestly, wishing you and your entire team all the luck, because Badal, you made it sound relatively easy, but my God, I can only imagine the kind of laborious work you and your team would have had to go through. Because yeah, convincing the person on the other side becomes very tough. They don't tend to understand probably what information, if they give, can it be misused, yeah, etc. I do understand, but you know what? Keep chugging along. You will of course have all of our positive wishes and vibes. And honestly, tell me this: when you went to Arunachal Pradesh specifically, you had to impress your wife also, right?
Yeah, kind of. I have to do that. I have to do that. I have to show.
Well
I want
done.
to make AI speak your language.
You're an
That's
intelligent man. Nice. Keeping it sorted. Well, anyway, I have to ask you this. Now, much of the Northeast India's hill terrain has very unreliable or no internet connectivity. There's a serious infrastructure issue which is going on. So, one is, I'd like you to please go ahead and educate us on that in terms of what are the developments. But that is a real constraint. Now, what actually becomes a big stumbling block in a speech AI system is when you kind of, take away the assumption of a stable internet connection. How did you solve that? Because then latency is a big issue. If you don't have connectivity, then you're stuck, no?
So I think for that, because that is a prototype we are actually working for offline, and I think Bhashini has a challenge going on. It's called Vioma Innovation Challenge. They actually have the entire software bit done with called Suno Sutra. They have a prototype itself. So we are one of the team participating in that challenge. I think we have the second phase, and then they'll select 4. So they gave us the developer kit, and we are actually working. It's very interesting. So it works offline. picks up the Bhashini model, but Bhashini obviously doesn't have Garo yet,
Right.
at least the Meghalaya ones. So we have our own, we push on our own models there. It's a learning for us because we have the models, like you said, we did think about this. Okay, this is a big problem. There'll be a lot of places, no internet at
Yes.
all, but how do they
By
use
the way,
that?
please, Badal, tell us, just off tangent, tell us what, by the way, is the development going on as far as infrastructural development there is concerned to, let's say, go ahead and combat this issue?
Okay, so at least right now the place I'm sitting is Shillong IT Park. So just give you so there is a lot of push going on, at least the infrastructure bit. Internet, yes, if you go to certain places, it's a common norm. Hilly areas, here the internet is good. I have to go at least, let's say, 10 meters. That's it. Then the internet becomes
sketchy.
Okay-ish. Yes, so I mean that's common across the Northeast. That is what I felt, and then one thing was for our team, it's if there's no internet, we record it offline, and then once you reach to a place where there is stable internet, then we send it off. So that has been a process for us. So internet, yes, but I because we're used to it, I won't call it a problem because us.
Yeah, but I mean, you're still working with in a way a handicap, no? I mean, if you don't have great connectivity, especially when it comes to voice. That's why I was wondering.
Yeah, so the data collection part of obviously that was the only solution we could think of. But the deployment part is currently, like I said, the offline bit, the offline devices. So that is something we are working on currently. And then we have recently there was a call for proposal from Science Technology Department Meghalaya. So we even proposed that. So we got small amount of fund for developing that prototype also for offline. It's a device. So we have good use cases. We see how it works. I think in a month or so it'll be done. And interestingly, once that is done, it comes together. Then we can go to we can reach that last mile like we want to do. So that is the whole plan.
The reason why I was kind of leading to this, the reason why I was talking about the infrastructure, etc. also is primarily because the government of Meghalaya's PRIME initiative supported MWire back in 2020. This was 5 years before MWire Labs existed. Now, what did that early state government support actually make possible? One, and today, like you said, you've received a little bit of funding. But what do you need today from the government, Badal, that you didn't need then and can actually make a huge difference for you to achieve that 2027 target?
Okay. So for us, initially, when it comes to PRIME, so for me, I'm a first generation entrepreneur. I do not know if you tell me about, in 2020 or it was, we know Dhanda.
Fair enough.
I'm giving you 10 rupees kamal, you give me 15 rupees. So I make 5% profit. That's it. I mean, 5 rupees profit. That's something as simple as that. That's what I knew. So
honestly, वैसे ही होना चाहिए, to be honest, but
but the startup thing, that's a different concept. Once we dived in with PRIME Meghalaya in 2020, it was so they have IIM CIP as their knowledge partner. So we learned, okay, what is a business model? We learned that unit economics is important. It's not that you do a service or you provide something and then you get money. That's it. So the incubation part was very nice journey for me to enter that that startup. That a lot of terminologies back then, like the TAM, SAM, those are okay, what is this? It blew my head. Even those, so a lot of things we learned. And for us, from the tribal areas, we are not exposed to a lot of these things. We are not exposed to these things. We know just okay, plus minus, and then that if we make profit, that's that. So, but if you want to actually expand your business, a lot of these are needed. So we got incubation from PRIME, and then after that we also received. Initially, there was for a tech startup. So electricity was an issue. I mean, there was a lot of load shedding and everything happening. So PRIME gave us an office space also at their co-working hub. So we utilized that. We did good. Then later on we moved away. So after that, it was. The entire thing, the PRIME journey taught us, to think of the business as give it a purpose rather than just करता रहो, okay, means
Fair
100
point.
रुपया, then 200 रुपया.
Also brings in a certain amount of experience, a certain amount of a wherewithal, if you will, Badal, from what's going on probably across the globe, what's happening, some good practices, etc., things like that. Does that also help? I'm thinking it should.
Yes, so it's we don't, the idea is we don't stay within the limits, boundaries of Meghalaya. So currently, even my plan is like, let's say Northeast. I'm not staying within Meghalaya, or else it would have been really easy for me. Khasi, Garo, Pnar, done, and then I keep on polishing and modifying, and then we have really good models. But when you look at least, okay, we need to look at it as a region, Northeast, because why a lot of the languages are related. The Tibeto-Burman Austro-Asiatic thing. So there's a lot of relevance when you listen to the language. Okay, when you look at the history. So okay, why not give entire region the focus? And then the example that we're looking at definitely the big guys, learning from them. They are doing a lot. We are learning from the failures. We're learning what worked, what not. So it's there. Even we are even pushing out. Interestingly, we are not a team of the researchers, but we are also pushing out decent amount of research in venues like EMNLP and ECL and everything. So it's like we're giving Northeast a face there also. I mean, if you now I think if someone searches Northeast, they will find something or the other. Earlier it was like Indic, stick to Indic languages,
correct.
low resource languages. That's all. But now, if someone searches, let's say in ACL, they search Northeast. I guarantee at least 2-3 वहाँ पे होगा. So Northeast, we're giving a face. So we are working.
And that's a great achievement, to be honest, and you should be proud of it. But Badal, as I had mentioned earlier, that I'd had a discussion with Shravani, and I wanted to understand this from you. Now, this is a thought that comes to my mind. This is a large Google-backed IISc effort covering 65 Indian languages, including Garo and Kokborok. Now, two of the same languages MWire Labs has built for independently, which I had mentioned earlier. Now, I want to understand, how do you feel about this? I mean, if we are looking at developing the entire ecosystem as far as the Northeast is concerned, should there be maybe a joint effort coordinating together, or do you feel a genuine competition between different approaches actually produces a better outcome for the entire ecosystem and the languages itself?
I think with Vani, I'm not sure if you had a discussion with them. I'm not sure if they mentioned us, because if you check ARTPARK's social media and even their case study for Vani, they do have us also. So what we did initially, so we didn't just go out to the field first. We did like I said earlier, we did a lot of checks what data is available. So Vani was one of that. So Garo, interestingly, it was very close to us, in Meghalaya. So we used Vani's data set. We created the model. So the first one is definitely ours. We call it Garo ASR, and then we club them together into, I think, 7 to 8 languages. Not Lemka, that's another research artifact. So we use Vani. So what we did was we took Vani data and we clubbed in our only the ones that we could open source. We didn't use the entire chunk, because we had to keep some proprietary. So we used some of our data. We used Vani. We combined that, and I mean, Shravani's, at least, let's say Kokborok, or definitely our NE-ASR, the Northeast ASR is better, at least in terms of number, WER. So even Garo, theirs is 9.5, I think.
Yes, you're right. 9.5.
So ours, the combined one is
9.4 or 9.5, somewhere there. But you're right.
9.5, yeah. So ours is Garo is 9.3. That is using our free, the open source data only. Now we didn't use a lot of our data yet.
Sure.
So that is for the open source model. I think even Kokborok, we use Vani.
So in a way, you're trumping then Vani with your number.
Yes, that for the open source one, that's our logic. We combine, and we had some discussions with Vani also. I know a lot of the team members. So it's for me, I think collaboration works better rather than thinking, okay,
I would think so too.
Yes. So I mean, they have the the funding and everything. So why should we compete with them or things other way? So it's just like they give us 100 hours. We maybe check. We can be the people verifying those.
Oh yes.
Adding another layer, and then combined with our data, then the model it becomes the best model. The best model at the end of the day. So people
it makes more sense any day. I agree with you, because also, Badal, at the end of the day, there should be a collaboration to deal with the bigger labs, no? To go ahead and actually become a force to reckon with when it comes to those big labs, to compete with them and to put like the entire Northeast language aspect, landscape on the global map.
Exactly. So I think it's we call it, you know, for there's a lot of, I saw a lot of articles or read articles where, you know, the low resource language, especially like something like the Northeast, these are noise for the big guys,
No.
the big labs. So you know, it's not something that is
No, you know what,
specifically
to be
trained on.
honest, they only think commercial. Let's be honest, Badal.
I
They
mean, I
do not
understand.
get into the overall situation of trying to uplift an entire community like you're trying to do, or Vani is trying to do, or, you know, trying to put them, because there are just so many opportunities that can happen. How do you know? Somebody who you probably met during this entire, you know, collection of data, etc. How do you know that guy could be the next entrepreneur who's just going to probably trailblaze through India based on the tool you're trying to provide him?
Exactly. So I mean, the opportunity that people need that. I mean, it's AI is moving so fast. Why can't we? If language is the only barrier, so that's something that we can, you know,
Yes,
we can close. So that is what we are on to.
which makes sense. Which then brings me to a little bit of accolades as far as you guys are concerned. I have to obviously share the number, I've done that. But before I get into that, this is interesting. Kren-M is built through continued pre-training of Google's own Gemma 2 model, adapted specifically for Khasi-English. Now, does that at some level or the other honestly change how we should all think about this achievement, building on an existing foundation versus starting from nothing?
I think the base here comes to funds first. How good is your backing? So I mean, using fine tuning a existing model is for smaller labs. That is the biggest, you know, leverage that
Sure.
we can use. Models keep on improving. There are a lot of open source models. They keep on improving. We just add our specific bit language or any
Sure.
specific sector. So I think for smaller labs, that is the biggest leverage we have.
Yes.
We can always iterate. We can do quickly. Okay, this didn't work. Let's do that. Specifically talking of Kren, so it was our test on the tokenizer. So, you know, with the tokens, how much can we compress it? For let's say for Khasi, it was for actually Khasi and Garo, but Garo was not because of lack of data that time. It was not doing so well, but Khasi, we had enough data on that time. So it was the tokens, how much tokens that is been. So I think we had 30 plus 33% something compression on the token. So it used way less tokens if we gave them a custom tokenizer. We had a custom tokenizer that time. So that was our learning bit. You know, it's all for us. It's all the aha moments, smaller aha moments. You know, okay, we did this today. Okay, now then the team gets encouraged. Okay, and then we think, okay, what next? That mentality. Okay, what next?
Nice.
Is it something? Is it this? Is it that? Okay, do we go with more language? Do we work on improving this? So it's that the entire experience. You know, the fun bit. It's really fun for us. You know, rather than just sitting in a laptop and what we have been doing the coding thing. It's the smaller fun bits. It's kind of expanding now. We are seeing.
I'm sure very
Okay,
rewarding.
yes, it is for our team. We feel like this is the biggest thing we can do. You know, you get a kind of a sense of purpose rather than we are just working on tech, which someone say from Delhi can come and do tomorrow. Someone from Hyderabad can come and do the same thing tomorrow or even better maybe. But now we feel that okay, we have that connection, that roots. You know, we have our feet on the ground. We know what is happening. That is something, you know, the sense of ownership. I think that is something really interesting.
Very, very nice. Good to hear that. Good to hear that passion in your voice, Badal. But now, of course, we come to the benchmarking bit. Before I get into where can the impact be, the biggest impact that you're probably envisaging moving forward. But I'll come to that later. MWire Labs says NE-BERT outperforms Google's mBERT and Indic-BERT on regional Northeast Indian languages. Now, how is that actually benchmarked? That's what I want to understand from you, Badal, first. And would that claim hold up to, let's say, independent verification by someone outside your own team?
Okay, so the NE-BERT was us, you know, trying to bring a lot of language. If it has almost zero presence. Let's say Pnar, I think NE-BERT is NE-BERT is one of the language in Pnar. So we did that. We make sure that we give them some presence. It's not a generative model NE-BERT, but it has that present. It gives, okay, these are there in the transformer world. So we tested that with I think we tested that with more models, mBERT, Moral, and then AI for Badal's IndicBERT definitely, and then we submitted that as a paper in ACL, and then in Lower Salam, that's an ACL workshop. So it got reviewed. So it's not just us saying, giving the benchmarks, giving the numbers. So and then it was reviewed, and then it's a published paper basically.
Fair.
So we did try tested with IndicBERT first. Then the reviewers told us to, why don't you try it with IndicBERT? They have the V2, the second version. So we did that, and then still it holds. It stands, the numbers.
Which is wonderful.
The paper is there. We have the data available on Hugging Face. Anyone can go and check that. It's open. Anyway, I'm just openly asking anyone, if you want to cross check that, please do so. Data is there. The model is there. Please do so.
I like that, sir. All right. So now this, Badal, and this is something which I feel is truly very, very important. I feel moving forward in the entire AI ecosystem of India, voices like yours are going to make a huge difference. And there should be so many more that should actually come to the forefront, which is then this. MWire Labs ranks 18th on AIKosh, India's national AI repository, by number of contributions. That is genuinely a public marker of scale for just a 6-person team, which is remarkable. Now, what does being part of India's official AI infrastructure actually change for you? Is it the funding? Is it the visibility, credibility, or something else that I might be missing out on?
I think with AIKosh, the plan was for us. We want people to know that these languages exist. A lot. Example, I'm not sure if you're being honest, how much you have heard the language Pnar before I told you today. If you have heard of that language.
I'll be honest. No, I did not know. Yeah.
So that is there. So we created actually a parallel data set for Pnar and uploaded that to AIKosh. So for us, it was a nice place, because we know it is India specific. People will use this for some, be it research, be it smaller development, or anything. So we know that it's from India. People will use it. So we keep pushing out. It's in a sense, a way that, okay, we know that the models we use is not just on paper. It's out there. Some people are using it. It's getting the eyeballs it deserves. And then we receive a lot of feedback actually for the models out there.
Wonderful.
Okay, this you have done this, you have done that. Can we do this also? Can we incorporate this or that? Those are all interesting things, mostly coming from academia. So we are working a lot on that also. So it's mostly pushing out the language which people never heard of, the names. So that is the point that we are trying to do with especially something like AIKosh.
So that's the first step. What would be the second, third, fourth, fifth, let's say? For example, whatever you're doing by 2030, 2027, you're looking at 30 plus languages, Badal. And honestly, wishing you all the best for you to achieve that. But what are you looking at in terms of the true convertibility of this particular model? What should it convert to? Which sectors should it benefit? Should it not, according to me, should it not then bring out the entire force of Northeast in terms of economic growth, for example, more startups probably, better healthcare, etc., etc. Because language is one thing which is going to go ahead and imbue and impact every aspect of our lives.
So I think for us, I'm not sure where did I hear this. So when we create the models or collect the data sets, we need to have that, the end use case, the end goal. Okay, who is this for? So language, definitely we know where the region-wise tribes and the people. So it's one thing that the common ground for everything. So another thing is we modified based on use cases. Currently, we are doing agri. We are doing healthcare, because those are not just us thinking, okay, one night I'll just wake up and I'll say, okay, tomorrow I'll do agri. Those are all, researched ones. We have had inquiries. We discussed with a lot of stakeholders what is, the thing that makes the most impact. So agri was the first one. And then now we're going to healthcare. And healthcare, and yes, governance is another thing, citizen
Most important.
services. So if rural people can't know that this particular government scheme exists, and if they don't know English or reading, but they know how to speak, they know they can listen to it. So that is the most interesting thing. They know that this particular scheme for you exists. Why did you apply for it?
Right.
So I think we currently these three are the focus for us, and then maybe once we have more inputs, more
who are you
data.
collaborating with, Badal? If you could kindly maybe shed light on that. Let's say who you're collaborating with, and as far as the agriculture aspect is concerned, is it a government agency, is it a government platform, etc.? As far as healthcare is concerned, who are you looking at? Similarly, governance services.
Okay, so with agri specifically, we are in talks with ICAR, NEH. So the good thing is they have their headquarters in Shillong. I mean, just in 10-20 kilometers from Shillong. It's very close. We can just go drop by and talk. So they actually cover the entire northeast. So that is the agri one. Health is actually a company from Hyderabad. So I don't want to until it's closed, I don't want to disclose the names much on that.
That's okay.
So it's a company. They have a project in the northeast, so that is where we jump in. We collaborate with them. We give them the language, and when it comes to citizen services, so it's government have signed an MOU with a third party, and we are working with them. So it's us just making sure that it goes out, and then so direct connection is just with ICAR. And then we have, like I mentioned earlier, Science and Technology Department. They are giving us funds for the offline bit, the device that works offline in Khasi and Garo. So that is the scenario currently.
And I'm pretty sure once everything is up and running, Badal, we'll have you back on front page again for you to share all of probably the wonderful developments and maybe also some of the challenges that you faced, that you overcame, etc. Finally, I have to ask you, before I let you go, do you feel what you've done is truly a big push as far as the entire sovereignty discussion goes? Because we in India always keep talking about chips and compute and this and that. But what you probably achieved, do you feel that is something that is the definition of sovereignty in a big way?
Yes. I mean, you should, like you said, you should come to the northeast. See, visit villages. You'll see the people. You listen to the different languages they speak, the interesting cultures they have. We want to make sure that while doing the language, we don't miss out on the cultural aspect.
Absolutely not.
That is very important. If someone from somewhere else does that, we might. So we want to make sure that we capture that essence. And yes, I feel like I've done something, not a lot of things, but we are on a marathon. So we at least take on one step at a time. A lot of things to be done. Now we need to get ready for improve the models, go out, see people smile when they listen to their own language, and that's a nice experience. AI that they were shy of the mobile phone speaking their own language. They were shy of it. They were laughing, and how can you speak my language? That's the fun part. It's a very interesting thing, and I feel that's sense of accomplishment it gives you. I think that's that makes us happy.
And it should, honestly, it should bring a wonderful smile to your face and your entire team as well, Badal. And what we are truly praying and hoping for and sending you all of our positive wishes at MWire and MWire Labs is concerned is the fact that what you've achieved only grows, and we as a nation start to go ahead and embrace everything that is coming from the Northeast via the language, because it is something which I believe we need to bridge, and we bridge together as a nation. And I also say, apart from agriculture, healthcare and government services, which is only going to allow a lot more of a seamless sort of a understanding for the people of the Northeast, for them to go ahead and feel easy, maybe get the best healthcare, maybe get the best awareness, or for that matter, things like that. I really am truly praying for the fact that we have great startups coming out of the Northeast like yourself. A lot more.
A lot more to come.
Wonderful. Well, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. I guess I can't say any more, but all I'd like to understand from you is, what are your thoughts in terms of the celebration of this wonderful development? Please do let us know in the comments below. This, ladies and gentlemen, is Front Page by the IIM Network. Like, share, subscribe, and always remember, think AI, think AIM.